painters, how are you? How's your day going? I hope it's great. I really do. I have been painting a Maine Coon cat for a beautiful coworker of mine who commissioned this project from me. And I thought perhaps I could find a way to mesh the footage of myself painting this cat with some of the stories about this author and illustrator Mercer and my upbringing. I'm not sure that I'm able to pull it off, but I'm gonna give it a try. Whenever I'm making a video, I try to think about the videos I most enjoy watching, and 100% watching painting progressions and speed paints and the like are the most motivating and also satisfying kinds of videos for me to watch. Plus, I'm always interested in a good story. And if you guys like the initial footage of this cat painting, this pet portrait, I hope that you'll stay until the very end of the video, because the last half of the video is me finishing the portrait, and I definitely think it is worth your time. I hope it is. I hope you guys are having a great day, that you have peace, and that this video can be just a small interlude from the sometimes somewhat monotonous day-to-day activities of life. If you guys like what you see today, do me a favor and click the like button and maybe consider subscribing. I have a lot of different kinds of videos on my channel, and mostly they relate to watercolor art, my faith, and sharing it, as well as just telling kind of awkward stories from my lengthy 51 years on this planet. I'm also a labor and delivery nurse, and sometimes I talk about that. And of course, there's always a lot of wiener dog footage, if that floats your boat. Mercer is an 81-year-old American children's author and illustrator who has published over 300 books using a variety of illustration styles. He was also a close friend of my father's when I was a child. I used to have so many more, but tragically, over time, life has left me with only a few. So we have Professor Wormbug's Gloomy Kerploppus, Professor Wormbog in Search for the Zipper-Rumpazoo. We have A Boy, a Dog, a Frog, and a Friend, Frog Goes to Dinner, and Frog, Where Are You? This one was authored by both Mercer and Mariana. If you're wondering why this is important, I'm going to get into the story. So my father, who I don't talk about a lot on this channel, I haven't seen him since I was 12 years old, which is a great source of angst for me in life. I've definitely made peace with it now, but it has been one of the great issues that I've kind of wrestled with over the course of my life is my relationship with him. Long story, we're not going to go there. But my father went to high school at the, what is it called? The School of Art and Design in New York City. And at that point, he developed a friendship with Mariana, who became the wife of Mercer and is a talented artist in her own right. So I wanted to show you guys some cool things about these books to start off with. Each one was given to me as a gift for the holidays and signed by Mariana and Mercer. That was during the time that they were still married. And you can see that my legal name is used in these books, but that is not the name that I go by. So here's another, Frog Goes to Dinner. This one was just from Mercer for the holidays with a little illustration. And then Frog, Where Are You? This one was written by Mercer, and it was a sequel to A Boy, Dog, and a Frog. With a little frog, and that's interesting. My father's favorite animal was a frog. He had a frog pendant that he would wear all the time. Frog everything. And we can see that this guy was published in 1977, and I probably received it around that time. It's, "Hi, I'm Tammy. Best wishes, Mercer Mayor. To Tammy, I hope you enjoy sniffing all these great smells as much as I did in making them." And then finally, we have this one. You can see that I added to the illustration, much to my chagrin now, in childhood by coloring it in with a yellow highlighter, which I oddly enough remember doing to this day. Isn't that strange? Okay, so this one's really cute. It says, "For Tammy, here is a zipper-rumpa zoo of your very own, your friend Mercer." There was an illustration here. "I belong to Tammy," signed Zipper-rumpa Zoo. How cute is that, you guys? So yeah, these are really special to me. You can see that I drew on all of them, and definitely well loved the pages of these books. Oh, we have more highlighter here. Island Joe. Did you guys grow up reading these books? More highlighter. I remember them all so well. I think I must have been trying to draw a bird. I don't know. A burb. I used to find this part of the story so tragically sad. Do you guys remember this? Isabella, the queen of the croonies, and she fell in love with the professor, only to find during the rainstorm when all his feathers fell off that, yeah, the rain washed away the glue and the wind blew away the feathers. One look at the professor without his feathers, and Isabella's heart was broken. "Leave," she told him. "Be gone. Depart." He's carrying his little feet. And there she is just crying. And I felt like that was the saddest illustration ever in the world when I was a child. And this is where the book, like the binding, came apart, because I would look at this page and look at this page so many times. And it was just a tragedy. Alas, I'm sure she recovered, as we all do from heartbreak, right? Oh yes, we have some more highlighter on pure ivory. Yeah, this was definitely a favorite. And growing up, my mom used to read Professor Warmbug's Gloomy Kerploppus to me every night before bed as a very young child. And we had our own little things that we would say as we read through each part. I'll share this with you. It says, "One day, Professor Wormbug's pet kerplopus was very gloomy. He wouldn't eat his bowl of grapes or play fetch with the stick. He just lay in his bed and sighed all day. And then here it says, all day. My mom and I would like say that every time. And this little red mark here, it's so weird that I remember these things and then I don't remember swaths of my entire childhood. I was dressed up as a clown for Halloween when I was probably 5 or 6. And I had a red lipstick nose on, and I was reading the book and I sniffed the Kirby's dish, sniffed at the grapes, and I got a red lipstick mark on the book that never came off. Alas, we all survived. So if you haven't read these books, they're definitely worth reading. And now I'm going to cut to the story. It's not so dramatic, but my father is an artist, I suspect, still. He worked in advertising and design. He worked for a lot of big name companies in the 70s and 80s. I don't know what he did after that because, like I said, I haven't heard from the man in 40 years almost. So nonetheless, he was a very talented artist, and some of my earliest memories go back to mental images of me sitting in his studio at his big white drafting table and using alcohol markers to draw on paper. I don't know if you remember these alcohol markers, you folks that are around my age and older. They had silver bodies, and the tips were like that of a highlighter. They're like a blunt tip. And they were very flexy. They would go back and forth. They had a very strong smell. I don't remember it being the smell of today's alcohol markers. But as a kid, I would sit there and draw with his markers. And I can remember in my bedroom at his house in Connecticut, I always had an easel and paints and things like that. Unfortunately, he never sat down and showed me how to use them. So I would kind of like scribble all over, get frustrated, and quit, because that was kind of my go-to take on art for my entire life until I was in my late 40s. And you've heard the story now, if you've seen my video, how I found art at 47. I really didn't believe I could make art at all. And I really couldn't when I started, trust me. I couldn't imagine how to draw anything. My drawings came out so wonky and crazy. But as I have since learned, when you apply yourself and you put effort in, you get results. Amazing. Who would have known? So anyway, my father worked in advertising and design, creating art pieces for these companies. And okay, he went to high school with Mariana Mayer, and they dated. And then they broke up, and he married my mom, and she married Mercer Mayer, and my father and Mercer became very close friends. Now, my mom only has one memory of spending time together with both Mercer and Mariana, and that was, interestingly enough, they were at Studio 54 in New York City in the early 70s having dinner, and they were having drinks and, you know, the whole nine. And I suspect everyone was feeling a little bit free with their words. You know, it was the 70s. Partying at Studio 54. Doesn't get much more quintessential 70s than that. Am I right? And at some point, Mercer Mayer leaned over to my mom and said something along the lines of, my wife used to sleep with, but used a different word, your husband. At which point my mom, who was this very sheltered Midwestern, very naive young woman in her early 20s, immediately became nauseated and sick and went home. I mean, I get it. It's kind of shocking to hear somebody say that. And you don't know if like they're mad about it or joking, or I don't know. Mom, you'll comment in the comments below your thoughts on the whole situation. Maybe if you want. It was pretty crass. Honestly, I 100% said things like that too. up until I was saved. And I was my mother's daughter, but I was the absolute opposite. I was in no way sheltered. I was in no way naive or easily offended or easily shocked. My thing was to be the one that did the shocking. Anyway, let's not dive down that psychology rabbit hole today. Okay, for those of you who stuck around through the whole story time, I genuinely appreciate you. Actually, I appreciate absolutely everyone who watches any bit of my videos, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure if they're always worth it, but I promise you guys I'm always trying my very hardest to make these videos as good, of quality, and as entertaining as possible. So this cat, as you can see, as you're watching this, you'll be able to clearly see that I employed numerous layers of paint in making this portrait. I tried to be very cognizant of incorporating a combination of edges, soft and hard, a combination of values, to really try and look at the colors in the cat and be sure that what I was representing was true to form, because my coworker wants her cat to look like her cat, of course. But something I always keep in mind is the fact that if somebody just wanted a photograph, they would take a photograph and frame it. I understand that people make beautiful photorealistic art, and there is certainly skill involved in that. But the way I see it is with digital imagery today and everything that's possible from, everyone's iPhone quality photos, why is somebody going to pay me good money to do what they can do for free with their phone? If I'm not bringing something else to the table, then it's really not worth it. So really, with each layer of paint and each choice I make as I'm putting the painting together, what I'm seeking to do is to create a feeling. Watercolor is very free, and I think one of the most beautiful qualities about it, other than the transparent nature, of course, which is inherent in the work, looking at each of the layers stacked up upon the other, it creates this sort of surreal kind of dreamlike image when it's complete. And if you really put in the time and the effort to patiently stack one layer upon the next, if that's your art style and what you like to see, of course, if this, what you're looking at, what I'm doing here, is appealing, I suspect it's because of that. It's something about, like, you can see the traces of the previous layers beneath the current one, and it just makes it very it makes the piece stand out as something kind of otherworldly. That's the only way I can think to describe it right now in the moment. Anyhow, I'm going to continue painting and leave you guys with some music here. I am so grateful you were here with me. Please don't click off the video. There's a little bit more left, and I'd love it if you'd see the end of the piece. Often in my videos I do this, but I always forget to say to people, wait, don't click off, stay till the end, because I usually stop talking before the piece is done. But anyway, I thank you again so much for being here and just for hanging out with me. It means the absolute world to me, and I want to be sure that you know that, which is why I'm saying it 57,000 times. All right, you guys, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
soft, turn the key and cooler on. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through. Today I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone and be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through. Today I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Stretch out, lean back, be the cat. Stretch out, lean back, be the cat.
Don't wanna sleep tonight at all. Just wanna watch them stars fall with you. Don't wanna try to make up dreams just to be seen. I wanna lay here beside you, oh quiet. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye. Oh, it's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. Sunflowers, high grass, and bare feet. Oh, but you each second is a treat. I keep my balance next to you. It's true. Nowadays there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Fire breath and open sky.
It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. We're beyond good, I've never been so ready. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. Oh, it's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. Fire breath and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell worry goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose.